We're going to talk about how to train a narcissist. Now, this tactic is not in any way negative, and in fact, it is a non toxic, repeatable two-step plan to get a narcissist to treat you better. Are you ready? Let's get started. My name is Angie Atkinson, and this channel is all about teaching you what I know to be true. You really can create the life you want. Sometimes you're going to find yourself in a toxic relationship with a narcissist. And even though you realize that your best option would be to leave or go no contact, because of course it is, it's not always a real possibility in real life. I mean, in some situations, it's not an option at all. For example, even if you leave your narcissistic spouse, if you have a child together, you really have no choice but to continue to deal with that person until your child's at least 18. And then you're going to have to deal with grandkids and birthday parties and all this other crazy stuff. The fact is, if you have a child with a narcissist there, and the narcissist will be in the child's life, you will have to deal with the narcissist. All these people who are like, why don't you just leave? Whether you leave or not, you still have to deal with the person. The other thing is, sometimes maybe you're working with a narcissist and you can't quit your job for whatever reason. Like, I don't know, you need money, you need to eat, stuff like that. Not that I'm negative or anything, but I get frustrated when people are like, you just have to leave. Well, of course you just have to leave, but sometimes you just can't leave, okay? That's what I'm talking about today. This is why I'm sharing this type of advice with you. There are two steps you can take to make a narcissist be nice to you, and here they are. Number one, do not reward bad behavior with the reaction that a narcissist is looking for. Your only response to bad, quote unquote, bad behavior has to be the gray rock method. This can and may induce narcissistic rage. Yes. It may induce narcissistic injury, extreme gaslighting, and other forms of manipulation. You may feel angry and upset and want to react, but don't do it no matter what. You have to stay positive and you have to stay polite. It's going to feel hard at first. A couple of tips for you: stare off right past their forehead or over their shoulder and just focus on something else. Do that four corners of the screen deal that I taught you before, where you look upper left hand corner, upper right hand corner, lower left hand corner, lower right hand corner, so on and so forth. Just follow the box. Remember that it's not your fault, and you can just stay focused on analyzing them, so to speak. I've always taken an intellectual approach to this sort of thing. If you can just look at it as, okay, these are patterns that other people repeat, then these can't be directly my fault. If you're not being abused or you don't fear being physically abused, this can work. This is step one. Do not reward bad behavior with the reaction they want. If a narcissist comes to you and starts screaming and yelling, and normally you'd scream and yell back, don't do it. If the narcissist comes to you and wants you to cry and says you're horrible and don't do things right and da 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 da, and they try to make you cry, don't cry. Any kind of negative interaction that you would have with a narcissist, you must discourage by not responding in the way that they desire. And you know what they want, because if they keep coming after you, for example, if you never do the laundry right, or coming home too late from work and really it's just because your hours are that way, constantly fighting with a narcissist over something that isn't really a big deal or that isn't within your control. If you think about how you've reacted in the past when they brought that to you, react differently. If you've gotten upset, don't get upset. Don't give them any reaction at all, or only give them a very calm and polite reaction. Okay, I'll take care of that. Drop it, don't continue. Number two, reward good behavior with what the narcissist needs from you: really love, admiration, and his or her proper space on a pedestal. If the narcissist behaves him or herself, even if you recognize it as a stage, as a classifiable behavior such as love bombing or idealization, that's better than the other stuff. So when you're going through the good phases, you can encourage the narcissist to stick to those better behaviors and those more positive interactions by rewarding them for that behavior. So tell them how amazing they are, how wonderful, how perfect, and do it as sincerely as you can. Just as a side note here, even if you're dealing with an ex in a co-parenting situation or a coworker, you can still do this, just adjust it to make it appropriate for the situation. So instead of telling your coworker, oh my God, you're so handsome or beautiful, you can tell your coworker, oh my gosh, I really appreciate that you did this for me today. Oh my gosh, it's so cool that you do this thing at work. Just adjust it to make it appropriate. Those are the two steps. Step one, do not reward bad behavior with a reaction. Do the gray rock method. Step two, reward good behavior with what the narcissist wants from you: love, admiration, place on the pedestal, etc. And this is the final thing to remember: you cannot expect miracles. Narcissists do not change for the most part. So you have to make sure that you understand that this will be your new way of life. If you choose to do this, you have to be consistent. So when it comes to dealing with a narcissist, you have to be consistently this way all the time. If you slip, which you will, you have to go, oops, I slipped, and you have to come right back, because at the moment you do, the narcissist will take advantage of that, of course. You can never stop these practices if you really want to keep this thing going. The narcissist absolutely will and repeatedly will try to work in those various bad behaviors because that's who they are. Manipulation, abuse tactics, all of it, they'll work it right into their shtick because that's what they do. And the only way that you can control that at all is to be very in control of your own emotions and try these 2 steps. You can do it if you choose to. What do you think? Can you avoid rewarding bad behavior, and can you make sure that you do reward good behavior? And can you do this forever? Can you do this without losing yourself entirely? I think it's possible. I don't think that it's something you're going to want to really do forever. But in a situation like where you're dealing with an ex, or you're dealing with a boss at work or something like that, or a coworker, this is your fix. What do you think? Let's talk about it. Share your thoughts in the comments below. It's my mission to teach others what I know to be true. You really can create the life you want. Take care of your body, take care of your soul, nurture the real you, and introduce him or her to the world. Be comfortable in your own skin and in your place in this world. Take your spot, take it now, and the universe will take its cue from you. You feel me? If so, subscribe to my channel. Let's get it done together.